when we talk about the presence of God, we need to then understand that there are different levels of the presence of God, which I'd like us to look at today. It will help us a lot when we are talking about a passion for the presence of God. There are different levels of the presence of God, of his awesome presence. First of all, that word presence, as used in the Old Testament, it's translated from the Hebrew word, if you want to write it down, I don't know how to pronounce this, P-A-N-I-Y-M. P-A-N-I-Y-M. And that word is used 76 times, excuse me. It's used 76 times. Now, it's a compound word, or rather, it's derived from the root word P-A-N-A. P-A-N-A, which means, the word P-A-N-A means to turn the face. To turn the face. Therefore, when we speak about the presence of God in a literal sense, what scripture means, it means to fill up, to pervade, to permeate, to overspread, to be under the face of, or in the face of. When we talk about the presence of God, let me say that again. When we speak about the presence of God in a literal sense, in scripture, it means to pervade, to permeate, permeate, to overspread, to be under the eyes of, or to be in the face of. So when you read the Bible, when it talks about God turning his face to somebody, all right? And when we give the priestly blessing and say, may the Lord make his face shine towards you. God turning his face towards you, which is a term we use, him turning his face towards you, that's his presence being released in your direction. Very important. So the idea then of God's presence has to do with God's face, which is turned towards someone or towards us in favor or in acceptance. So God turns his face towards us in acceptance and in favor. All right? So that word then, panim, also means to be sufficient, or to be able to sustain or support. Which means this: when God turns his face towards you, and when his presence is revealed in your life, then God becomes the all-sufficient one. When he spoke to Moses, says, I am that I am, right? God becomes the one who sustains you. Meaning, when God is present, or let me rephrase, when his presence is in manifestation, and I'm going to show you the different levels of God's presence in a short while. When God's presence is in manifestation, he supports us, he energizes us. So God's presence doesn't just manifest just for the sake of it. When his presence manifests, it causes certain effects. When God's presence is manifested, and when God is looking, his face is turned towards you. God is looking in your direction. When his presence pervades you, permeates you, overspreads, when you are under God's eyes or under his observation, his face is towards you. When his face is turned towards you in acceptance and in favor, right? So God then becomes the all-sufficient one. He's the one who supports you. He's the one who sustains you. He's the one who energizes you. God's presence never just manifests for mahala.